Hi guys, how are y'all doing? My name is Becca, welcome back to my channel. It's been a couple weeks since I filmed a video, it's been a couple weeks since I posted, I think, maybe, I don't know. Stuff happened. This month has just been like a roller coaster ride, kind of, like, sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. Right now, I'm in the in-between of just being down and like in the middle. Stuff at work happened. Someone tested positive for COVID-19. I'm out of work for 2 weeks because of it, so there's that. So right now I'm home, great. Don't know how I feel about that yet. It's without pay, so yeah. But at least I'm home. I'm trying to keep everybody safe, and that's all that really matters. Other than that, I've just been watching Bleach, playing Final Fantasy XIV, stuff like normal. Nothing really else I can say. There's other stuff that's happened throughout the month, but I'm not really going to talk about that. I haven't filmed any of my wrap-ups, so for like August or September, and now we're nearing the end of October, and all I'm doing is putting everything off, and I haven't really been in the mood to film anything. Like, I haven't even filmed a update, like a weekly reading check-in, like I try to do. I was gonna do, I think it's been a couple weeks since I've done one. Maybe I only missed last week. I don't even remember if I filmed one the other week. I was gonna try and do one at the beginning of this week, and then I was just like, I'm not in the mood. Like, my mental health was just crap. So, yeah. But other than that, like, I'm doing good. There's really nothing else I can say. Like, I have no symptoms. I'm fine. My family is fine. Yeah. Reading-wise, it's, what, the 16th? I've only finished 5 books. I'm in the middle of 3 more, and only one of those has to do with my TBR. I have 16 books on my TBR, and I have yet to read most of them. So, there's that. I only have, like, what, a week and a half, maybe? 2 weeks left? I don't remember time. I'm gonna try and knock out a few more, but I don't see myself finishing all 16, so I'll have another punishment book. If you don't know, in my last TBR, my October TBR, I mentioned that if I don't finish my TBR for the month, then I set out to read, like, just the set books that I set out, not the ones that I just, like, try and pile on there as well. Then I will just make, I'll just read what I deem a punishment book. I go easy on myself, so I just read one of the top 5 lowest rated books on Goodreads, on my Goodreads Want to Read shelf, and I just pick from there. So obviously those books are ones that I do want to read, so I have no issue with that. And I did the top 5 because there are books that I don't want to read right now that obviously, like, could come up first. And it's the same thing with highest rated. There could be, like, I think the second highest rated book was the second book to The Name of the Wind, and I'm like, Wise Man's Fear, I don't want to read that right now. Like, I want to reread Name of the Wind, but I don't want to read Wise Man's Fear right now, and I don't want to read Name of the Wind right now. So, yeah, so I did the top 5 just to make it a lot easier on myself. I have yet to read my punishment book for this month, which is Star Daughter. It is something that I definitely want to get to. I'm making it a priority for myself. I do really want to read it. And I feel like it's a punishment book. I should make that a priority. But I'm also trying to stick to the Slayerfest TBR that I have, and you have to read those in order. And I think that's also what's really getting to me, because some of the books that I really want to read are so, like, low down that I have to read so many books to get to those. And I can't, like, just read them all at once, And I'm trying to read 3 books at once, an audiobook, an ebook, and a physical book. So, I mean, it's going well, kind of. I'm not reading as much as I normally do. So let's talk about the books that I completed. I'll start with my iPad because that's better. First up, I finished Archangel's War. Let me turn down the brightness quite a bit. So yeah, I finished Archangel's War by Nalini Singh. This is the latest book. This is book number 12 in the Guild Hunter series. And literally the whole series kind of builds up this war that's about to happen. And here we are. I can't say anything because obviously it's literally the plot, the overarching plot has built up to this. And here we are. Things have happened. It was insane. I give it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't love it. But I don't normally love, like, all-out war books. I don't know why. But those, they don't always, like, interest me. Like, I like moments of them, but I don't love the whole thing, obviously. So, I give 4 stars. I really did enjoy it, and I'm so excited for the 13th book. It's coming out at the end of November. That's gonna be so good. But yeah. So that was the first book I finished. That was for Slayer Fest. That was for my Buffy prompt, my character prompt. That was just to read a book with a badass female main protagonist, and Elena fits the bill. So, I'm just gonna go to the other book that I read on my phone/iPad because everything else I have physical books for, so we could just do that. And that was The Thief by J.R. Ward. This is book number 16. This one has to do with Marisol and Sale. And I had been waiting for their book for a little bit, like ever since they started like meeting. Marisol was a thief that just snuck into his place and never knew that he's a vampire and like what world he's from and stuff like that. And you see a lot of them in another book. I can't remember which book they met in. But then things kind of go like kind of sideways, kind of downhill. She moves away. Now Sale is really sick and she's back. So this was actually pretty good. I will say though, Vicious and Jane's kind of fallout happens in this. So for the last few books, you have been seeing that Vicious and Jane aren't really interacting with each other much. It comes out in here. And it was fine, like, in the beginning I was kind of annoyed, because I'm like, this is Marisol and Sale's book. I don't really want Vicious and Jane right now going off on each other, like, just stop. Can I get more of them? But then later on, it actually seemed to work out, and it, like, seemed to correlate to the plot a little bit, and I was just like, okay, alright, I can deal with it. I ended up loving this book. I think I only gave it 4 stars. Normally I give it 5. But Marisol and Sale in the very beginning was all perfect, and then kind of down towards the end, like everything, how do I say this? Like I didn't love how it wrapped up. Like I just felt like it wrapped up a little too neatly. That's just me. But it's fine. Like I still really enjoyed it. I give it 4 stars. I do really love Vicious and Jane, and I understand that J.R. Ward's like favorite character is Vicious. Like you could totally tell because he's in every single book. But those two, yeah, I kind of would have rather had just their own book, because like Rage and Mary had their own book, and Wrath and Beth had their own book. Just like give Vicious and Jane their book. They can go off on each other. That's fine. Just give them their own book. You didn't need to put them in with Marisol and Sale and kind of take away from them a little bit. That's all I'm saying. Alright, now the other 3 books that I finished. 2 of them are thrillers, 1 was a romance. So, I'm trying to get my thrillers in. 1 was Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I actually really enjoyed this book. I did have faults with it though. I think I gave it 4 stars. Okay, this book is about a woman in the very beginning, Rowan. She is on the internet and sees this advert for an opportunity to be a live-in nanny for these kids that live in this smart house. The parents need to be away from business and everything, and they need a new nanny. So Rowan ends up applying for this job, getting the interview, getting the job, and she's in this house. She really, though, has no idea how to work a smart house. I mean, it's all app, app-based. Like, she has to be on the app for everything. And, what's it called? The kids. She doesn't even know the kids. And the mom decides, she's got to go to this business meeting. Her and the father are leaving the next day. Rowan gets the job. Rowan's in the house. Bye. Like, I'm just like, really? That's pretty much all I can say. Creepy things do start to happen. We'll say that. It is a thriller, so obviously, like, stuff happens. And they live in a smart house. Also, the very, very beginning of this book, that's what I should have started out with. The very beginning of this book is Rowan in jail for murder on one of the kids. You're like, one of the kids is dead, and she possibly murdered one of them. Like, what happened? So that, like, really gets you hooked into wanting to know what happened. Some of the faults I had with this book, because this book was crazy. I listened to the audiobook. The audiobook was fantastic. I really loved the narration. I loved the tone and how it, like, the narrator really amped up the creepiness with their tone. And I really loved that. What's it called? And, like, just the level of creepy really stayed through the whole time. And it does it really well. But the faults were with the plot. Obviously, the parents need to go on these business meetings. I get it. They've had a slew of fucking nannies that go in and out the door. And they really need a new one. Okay, Rowan's here. Great. First day. First night. Rowan learns that the parents are leaving the next day. Pretty much, mom goes, here's a binder. Here's the app. Bye. Really? Really? That is so stupid. I'm sorry, but if it was me, these are my kids. I'm not going to trust this strange nanny, like the stranger, obviously, to watch my kids without even instructing them. Okay? I don't know if I can even mention another one without spoiling the plot. I mean, I guess I could. I'm just going to. If you haven't read this book, and you just want to, like, mute, you can mute, go ahead. You can fast forward, that's fine. But yeah, I'm not really going to spoil it, but I'm just going to mention certain things that happen within the book. Kind of. I don't feel like it really spoils it, but who knows. So, there's this poison garden in the backyard of this freaking house. Or whatever, in the woods of this house. You would think there's a fucking poison garden. Yes, it's locked. There's no signs saying stay out. There's no signs saying poison garden, keep out. It's in the binder in, like, way in the back, or, like, I don't know. This binder is, like, what, 250 pages, I think it was? And it's, like, in the middle there. And it's just, like, a page. Poison garden, shit like that. And, like, the mom, like, so Rowan and the kids go out on an outing for these woods because Rowan's trying to, like, get to know the kids. And they end up going in the poison garden. She doesn't know it's a poison garden. She's just like, oh, it's a nice garden. And the kids know how to get into it. Okay, it has to be safe, right? The mom finds out and goes nuts. And I'm like, whose fault is it? You live next to a poison garden and you don't think the first thing you say to this freaking new person you meet, hey, stay out of the poison garden? I'm sorry. That was just stupid. That was so stupid. I was so mad. Throughout that whole part, I was just mad. I feel like that's it. Like, I know there was something else, but, like, those are the two main things. I was just like, I don't know. This is kind of stupid. Like, I'm a little... I will say, though, like, some of the revelations in here, pretty good, not gonna lie. I don't read a lot of thrillers, so, like, I don't know what's common, and, you know, like, I've really seen a lot. I like to watch a lot of, like, thriller mystery kind of stuff, so, like, yeah, it's not mind-blowing, but, I mean, I was really liking this, throughout, and, like, you knew there was something going on, you knew there was this mystery, there was a few mysteries throughout, to do with her, to do with the house, to do with all of it, and, you know, like, actually learning about stuff like that, I was fine with the revelations. The very ending, kind of, like, really? Okay. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I give it 4 stars. Actually, it could be like a 4.5, because, I don't know. It's probably 4.5. If it wasn't for those freaking flaws, it'd be a 5. If it wasn't for that stupid shit with the parents, it'd be a 5. Not gonna lie. Let's talk about the other thriller, the other audiobook I listened to, and that is When No One Is Watching by Alyssa Cole. This is a psychological thriller. Alyssa Cole is one of my favorite authors for romance. I love the freaking Reluctant Royals series. Oh my god, it's fantastic. I absolutely love all those books. The audiobooks are so good. So then I was like, well, Alyssa Cole just brought out another book. Yes, it's a thriller. Gotta check it out. So I picked this up at Barnes & Noble and got the audiobook because I always listen to the audiobooks for Alyssa Cole's books. I found out psychological thrillers are just not for me. I don't know if it was the thrillery part of it, because I don't feel like there was anything thrillery happening, really, until, like, the end. You got hints, like, little hints throughout the book that kind of annoyed me. I was just like, I came out of Turn of the Key with a level of freaking creepiness that, like, really got me, into this where I was bored through half the book. Theo, so this is about, Sydney and Theo. They both live in this neighborhood. Sydney is black. They live in this Brooklyn neighborhood, where it was predominantly black, and then a lot of Sydney's neighbors are moving. They're going, you know, they're vanishing, and all these white people are taking up their houses. Theo is one of these white people, but he lives, you know, him and his girlfriend moved in, so. But Theo and his girlfriend are going through a lot of shit, and they're just, like, you know, it's not real. They're not really together anymore. So he's, like, crushing hard on Sydney. Sydney's going through a lot of issues right now. And then she finds out all of her neighbors have gone, you know, have just vanished, up and vanished without even telling her. And she's just like, why is everybody moving? Why are these white people moving into my friend's houses? Like, what's going on? So that's pretty much the thriller part of it. I didn't really care for Theo much. He's alright, but to be honest, like, he's not a great guy. Like, his girlfriend, Kim, is a racist bitch. He doesn't say a word, really. Like, he's all like, I'm not racist, you know, like, and I'm just like, but why don't you stick up for, okay, you know, whatever. Like, you just let your girlfriend go off, but okay, she's a racist bitch. Sydney, like, so Sydney and Theo each have alternating chapters, and each have their own narrator. Sydney's narrator was fine, for the most part, like, it was fine. Theo's bored the hell out of me. His was almost monotone, and I didn't like it. So, like, I found that I would just tune out his chapters almost. But again, like, the thriller aspect of it wasn't really there. And I don't know if I was really invested in their lives to really give a shit. I wanted to. I really did. I didn't. I ended up giving this 3 stars because it was alright. It was fine. The thrillery part, at least towards the end, was decent. But I found that psychological thrillers are just not my thing. I'm more of the, like, ghost haunted, like, actual kind of, like, really amps you up kind of thrillers. This just wasn't it for me, and I feel bad, but it's a 3-star. I still love Alyssa Cole's Reluctant Royal series. I'm gonna keep those, but it just didn't do it for me. And then the last book that I finished is A Rogue of One's Own by Evie Dunmore. This is the sequel or / companion to Bringing Down the Duke. This one follows Lucy. Yeah, Lucy and Tristan. Lucy is, I want to say her name is Annabelle. it could be Annabelle or Annabeth. I want to say it's Annabelle, though. I really do. Come on, she's like gotta be right here. Yeah, it's Annabelle. Okay. So Annabelle and the Duke were the last book. Lucy is Annabelle's friend from this book. She's like pretty much the leader of their little suffragist group. She's not the leader of the suffragist group, but for their like little group, she's kind of the leader. And so her and this Lord, I don't know exactly, Tristan, have known each other since they were really young, but Lucy has pretty much hated Tristan all her life. And she went down with her family, so, you know, leaving them because of her suffragist movements and everything. And now Tristan is kind of back in her life. And they have to co-own this paper. And she does not want to co-own with him because she wants to do her own stuff. Like, she wants to get her, you know, her women's rights. Like, she wants to get her, like, speeches. Like, she just wants to get into every hand of the women. She wants all women to, like, stand up and, like, you know, get rights and everything. And she wants to use this paper for her own needs. And Tristan wants to use it for his. And one day they just like go off on each other so hard that she ends up hurting him really bad, that he's like, you know what, if you want to buy me out, or if you want a percentage of my share, you can have it if you spend one night with me. And at first she's just like, nah, never gonna happen. And then she's like, then she's had enough, and she is attracted to him. So she's just like, okay, we'll do it. Okay, I gave this 4 stars. I did enjoy this. My main issue, because I think I gave Bringing Down the Duke. Oh no, I think I gave that 4 stars, but I like that a lot more than I like this one. My main issue was this. I didn't see the chemistry, and like I finally got it at the very end. Like I liked the romance towards the end, but in the beginning I just didn't care. They were just like all right, and it seemed like Tristan, you knew, really liked her. You could definitely tell Tristan really loved, really was attracted to her, really loved her, would do anything for her, really. And she never saw it, and she didn't care about him. For me, I didn't get a lot of, like, her liking him at all through this book until the middle, when they start, you know. So I'm just like, okay. So I gave this 4 stars. To be honest, Bringing Down the Duke is more of like a 4.5 or a 5 star because that was just so good. This was good. I did enjoy this. I really liked reading it. I was going to try and listen to the audiobook, but I could never get it in time. But yeah, I really did enjoy reading this. The Annabelle and the Duke were in it for like a little bit. Like, Annabelle's mostly in it. The Duke is not, which kind of hurt because I really liked him. But I did like the ending of this book a lot, so there was that. And yeah, I mean, I like Tristan, I like the friends, I liked Lucy. I just needed her to like wake up, you know what I mean? So 4 stars, was good. I definitely recommend this series. And yeah, I can't wait for the 3rd book. There has to be a 3rd book. I'm pretty sure that's got to be Hattie, which is the other friend. Okay, now we can talk about the 3 books I'm currently reading, and oh my god, it's already so late. Let's see if this goes through. Okay, so the first book I'm currently reading, so 2 out of the 3 books are not on my TBR, and there's reasons, which I'll go into. First one is One Night with the Duke, which is, it's by Erica Ridley. This is the 10th book in the 12 Dukes of Christmas series. I've been getting them from NetGalley to read and review ever since I think like the 6th book. And I have enjoyed each one of them, except for I think like one that I was just like meh about. But yeah, I got this pretty late. And I didn't read it in time. Like, I think it was Tuesday it came out. So I have to read this and review it before, you know, archive date, which I don't know when it is, but I feel bad that I didn't review it already. This one has to do with, so in the last book, we had that whole Fit for a Duke, like, company that they're trying to, like, invest, get someone to invest in. And we had the tailor in that one. This one, we actually have the backer, or the business partner of the tailor, who's really just trying to, like, get the money and, like, you know, he sees genius and he invests in it, but he also needs the Duke to invest in it. And, so while everything's going on with the tailor in the, like, right outside the Crestmouth, right outside the city, I think it's Jonathan. I could be, yeah, Jonathan McLean, who's the business partner, is in Crestmouth, and he's having his own romance with, Angelica. God, I want to say yes. Angelica, who, she's black. I don't think I've seen any other, female main character or female love interest in this who's black. So I really appreciate that. She's black and she has her own business, which is her jewelry shop. And Jonathan goes in there, sees these beautiful pieces of art, you know, these beautiful pieces, and he just wants to buy them all. And he starts to, like, really fall in love with Angelica. And it's heartwarming. And that's what I really love about Erica Ridley's books, is that they don't have, like, a lot to them, but they're just heartwarming and they're just beautiful romances, and I love that. So, I mean, I'm like 60% of the way, I think, into this. Or 55%. I will be done in the next couple of days. Hopefully tomorrow, we'll see. Because it doesn't take me long to read. Like, I think in one day I got to, like, 40%, and I could read it. I just don't sit down to do that yet. But yeah, I am really enjoying that right now. I'm loving Angelica and Jonathan, so it's going great. The other book that's not on my TBR is The Night Swim by Megan Golden. I just got this from Book of the Month. I haven't even hauled it. I have my other Book of the Month books over there too. I'm listening to this on audiobook. So the reason that, you know, I picked this up and not one for my TBR is because, again, with the audiobooks and everything, or like with all the books, they have to be in order, and I needed another audiobook. And the one that I have that I could read from my TBR is down the list. And that one shouldn't even take me that long to listen to. So I'm like, I need another audiobook to listen to, and this one has been sounding so good. So I have been very much looking forward to picking this up. Kayla from Books and Lala, I think, just read this last month or so and really enjoyed the audiobook. So I was like, I'm going to give it a shot. And it's got to do with a podcast, and the podcast is just fantastic. I'm really loving it. It's like a true crime, you know, kind of thing. We follow Rachel, and Rachel has this podcast, and for each season she talks about a different case and goes over the clues and everything, tries to solve the case through a podcast. What's it called? And for this season, I think it's third season, she's dealing with a really difficult case, which has to do with, like, rape and everything. It's not murder or anything, it's rape. And that's very controversial. And while she's in town, she ends up getting these, like, letters from this person named Hannah. And Hannah, like, I want to say, like, over 20 years ago, her sister was found dead. Some people say that it was drowning. Some people say it was murder. Nobody knows what happened, and she really wants Rachel to investigate it and help her find out what happened to her sister. So that's pretty much where we're at. I'm really loving the podcast elements of it. I'm loving the whole thing. It's really good. I'm in the middle of chapter 22, so I'm like 130 pages in. I'm really enjoying it. I'm listening to this really quick. I listened to it on 2x speed. I'm probably a few hours in. I only have like 3 hours left of it because I listened to it on double speed. So I'm having a really good time listening to this. Not gonna lie. I think I only started it like the day before yesterday, and I barely read it, or I barely listen to it at times because I don't have a whole lot of time to listen right now. But yeah, this is really good, and I'm really loving that I'm listening to an audiobook. Oh, and I'm listening to this on Scribd. Okay, so I found out that some of Scribd's books are glitched. Not all of them though. So far so good for what I am listening to on Scribd. Because I did listen to, I think, When No One Is Watching as well on Scribd, and it was fine. So far so good. I'm really enjoying this one. And again, the creepiness, the whole, like, it's not entirely creepy, but it is like that whole thriller aspect is throughout, and I'm really enjoying that part. So yes. All right, last but not least is my physical book, and it's Skip Beat, which is oh god, I don't even know which one, but it's volumes 10 through 12. It's my last one before I have to buy new ones, so I really need to get the next ones. I'm only this far in. I've started this days ago. Here's the thing. I want to read it. Like, I want to just sit down and read so much of it. And I know I could, but I'm so busy either watching Bleach or playing Final Fantasy XIV. Or when I was working, because I was working a few days ago, but, you know, not anymore. Not for another couple weeks. So I really want to just sit down and read this. Like, I want to sit down and read everything. But I'm not, because I have so much to do. Like, stuff is going on in the game. Like, I want to get stuff done. So, yeah, I only sit down and read a little bit here and there. But I am very much enjoying this. Like, this is where Kyoko's acting really starts to take off. She's got this role as this, like, really scary, like, angry woman. And I'm loving it. This is also where Ren is challenged as an actor, because he has to act something he's never really had to act before. Or at least he's been able to just, like, brush off, but this time he's not going to be able to do that, and I'm loving that. So yeah, I'm loving this. I'm loving this so much. So yeah, that's it for all my reading. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I know it's been a while. I'm going to try not to disappear again. We'll see if I can get these wrap-ups up. I'm telling you, I haven't even filmed a wrap-up. I haven't even gone through all the books I read in September. I have my August one done. I need to go through my September one. Maybe I'll just, like, knock them out, like, you know, just try and put them up. We'll see. Thank you guys so much for watching, guys. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you all again later. Happy reading, guys. Stay safe.